Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Cheryl's here. It's time for some music and a Bible story. The story today is about a man called Samson. He was a judge in Israel, and he was a very strong man. But when he was a baby, God told his mother, said, now I'm going to use him. I'm going to make him very, very strong, a good fighter so he can win battles. But you must never cut his hair. Because as long as his hair stays long, our promise is the same, then he will be victorious and he'll stay very strong. Well, later in life, he grew up and he became one of the last judges of Israel. But he fell in love with a woman named Delilah. Now, Delilah was from the enemy camp, and that was a not good thing to do, but he did. And the Philistines said to Delilah, you know what? Samson is so strong, we don't know what to do so we can overcome him and we can win our battles. See if you can trick him into telling you what's his secret. Why is he so strong? And if you can get the answer, we're going to give you a big amount of money. So she said, oh, I like that. Okay, she said, all right, let me see. I think I can make him tell me what his secret is. So she said one day to Samson, said, Samson, you are so strong. Why don't you tell me what's your secret? How come you're so strong? What would we have to do to make you like everybody else? And he said, well, if you would tie me up with new bowstrings that's never been used, then I would be weak, just like everybody else. So she said, oh, well, let's try it. So Philistines brought her some new bowstrings, and she tied him up. And then all of a sudden she said, Samson, the Philistines are here to capture you. And so he sat up and he said, where? And he took his hands and just broke those bowstrings like they were nothing. And of course they ran because they were afraid of his strength. Delilah said, Samson, you lied to me. That's not what makes you strong. Now come on, tell me what really makes you strong. He said, well, if you get a new rope that's never been used, and you take that new rope and you tie me up, then I'll be weak, just like everybody else. So she told the Philistines, just bring me a new rope, and I will try that. So they did, and she tied him up, his hands up, with that new rope. And then all of a sudden she said, Samson, the Philistines are here to capture you. And he said, oh, where are they? And just snapped that thick, strong rope like it was nothing. And she said, Samson, that's not your strength. Come on, tell me. You've lied to me 2 times. Tell me what your strength is. He said, okay, well, if you take my braids and you weave them into that loom over there where you're weaving up material, just tie them all up together, and then I will not be strong. I will be weak like everybody else. So when he went to sleep, she did that. She took his braids and she tied them up in all the little fabric that she was weaving on her loom over there. And then she cried, Samson, wake up. The Philistines are here. They're trying to capture you. He woke up and jerked his head so strong that it just pulled everything out of the loom. And the Philistines, of course, they ran. They were afraid again. She said, now look, how can you love me? Tell me you love me if you won't even tell me the truth. What is your secret? You just have to tell me. Please tell me. And she nagged him day and day and day and day. Finally, he got tired of listening to it. He said, all right, the secret to my strength is my hair. My hair has never been cut. And that was a promise that my mother made with God. That's why I'm so strong. So she waited till he went to sleep. And then she took the scissors and cut his braids off. And then woke him up. She said, Samson, the Philistines are here. They're trying to capture you. He woke up and he tried to do something, but he was so weak he couldn't do anything. He just kind of fell over. But see, he had broken God's promise. And God didn't love him anymore, and he deserted him. So he was weak, and the Philistines captured him and made a slave out of him, made fun of him, until later in life, then his hair began to grow back, and he asked God to forgive him, and God caused him to be strong again. But there's a story that tells, a song that tells this story, and it's just entitled Samson. So let's see if our boys and girls here are ready to sing with us. And it's got several verses. It's to the same tune. If you've ever sung, she'll be coming around the mountain. But this is, Samson was a judge in Israel. Yes, he was. Let's see if they're ready. Yes, he was. Samson was a judge in Israel. Yes, he was. Samson was a judge in Israel, and God used him to do his will. Samson was a judge in Israel. Yes, he was. Samson was so strong and mighty. Yes, he was. Samson was so strong and mighty. Yes, he was. Samson was so strong and mighty, with his strength from God Almighty. Samson was so strong and mighty. Yes, he was. Samson killed 1,000 soldiers. Yes, he did. Samson killed 1,000 soldiers. Yes, he did. Not with rocks and not with boulders, but he killed them with a jawbone. Yes, he did. Samson gave in to Delilah. Yes, he did. Told the secret of his strength. Yes, he did. Had his hair cut while he slept. When he woke up, Samson wept. Samson gave in to Delilah. Yes, he did. Mom made fun of Samson. Yes, they did. When the Philistines caught Samson, yes, they did. Yes, he told them dire destruction, and it caused complete destruction. Thousands died because of Samson when they did. Yeah, so that was a neat little song. It was the same story about Samson. So you always want to follow God and do what you promised to do. So if you do, he'll make you a strong person for him. So until next week, bye-bye.